Live. There we are. Hello, one and all, and Samuel. How's it going?
Yeah. Week 3 of this. 2. Week 2 of this.
Your sickness,
Yes. The real-time ode to Samuel's health of these videos. You know, that's fun.
Samuel has no health, only Zool.
What a thing to pull out of your brain for that. Dear me.
Alrighty. How's everybody?
But Stuart!
Yes.
Prodigy Season 2's cancelled, right? That's what all the news sources said. It's cancelled, right?
I was surprised as anybody.
Cancelled.
They had been approved for 2 seasons, 40 episodes. They had that all planned. It's all been filmed. They're doing post-production now. Get it all wrapped up and shopping it around to see who's going to stream it.
They better hurry up. Obviously. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's oddly in production, as in they're still making it. They're still doing it. Those are involved. You know, they talked about it at Vegas. And they could. It's different unions, so they're fine to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm fine with this. I'm happy about this. Hashtag save Star Trek Prodigy. Go do it.
All of it. All the save. Because, you know, you need to be part of the solution. You know, it's a good show with a lot of good promise.
Fantastic show.
So put on Twitter, you know, monitor Aaron Waltke and the Dan and Kevin Hageman brothers, their Twitters, when they have news or comments or positives, retweet, share, talk about it. Those integrations into the social world, people talking about it do make a difference. Yeah.
They do. They keep it relevant and in the public eye. So do it. Yeah, today we're going to talk about the clip they showed at STLV, which is a 4-minute clip from episode 1.
Do we know it's episode 1 or just?
Yeah, I think it was said. Yeah. So yeah, we got some cool reveals, a guest star, returning legacy character, as well as a new ship. Not only a new ship, but a new hero ship. Voyager has returned.
It's the sort of ship that if you blinked and didn't watch Trekyards, you didn't know it was coming from what we saw last year. But if you did watch Trekyards, you're like, oh yeah, of course, Voyager. Oh yeah, I saw Trekyards video, it's fine. But I can slightly see some people being confused because we caught onto it straight away. Doesn't mean everyone did. So we've known about it since the last episode, right? That tease, that ooh.
Yes.
What
yes,
will be, you know?
22 people here with 12 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. Let's hopefully get some more people in here too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a poll.
You do the poll. But yeah, hit the like button, guys. I'm gonna go for the goal of, as I always do, 50. So if you are just joining us, hit that like button. Get those likes up. We'd appreciate that immensely. But yeah, I'm just curious up there. Who's seen the clip? Has everyone seen it? Hopefully so. Comment in the chat.
Yeah, it's funny how CBS Paramount like to region lock most things, but on their website they don't. Now that might be encouraging you to go to the website, but so it is there available for everybody on their official website.
Yeah.
At least there's that. But yeah, the amount of things they lock is a bit extreme.
It's stupid. That's what it is.
That's definitely yeah. Let me start showing it. What isn't stupid is me showing.
You go share, and I'll talk to these people about hitting like and joining the channel if you're able to. There's a join button down there. Click it. Join the fleet. We got a cool Trekyards fleet at the end of every video. So if you want to be part of it, go check out.
I can play that now if you want.
Sure, go for it.
I feel like that's certainly implied.
Yeah.
Let me find the newest one, which is right
there.
Here we go.
a new updated one, and Samuel's cut off. So here we go. Here's the fleet video. If you guys want to be part of it and you have a rank and have your name and lights, as it were, at the end of every video. Video's not playing. There we go. Have your name and lights at the end of every video. Please do so by joining the channel, whether they're here on YouTube or over on Patreon/Trekyards. That's another way to do so. You can be part of the fleet. You know you want to. Also, as a result of joining as well, you also get access to our Discord server with some very cool people. You get to hang out with the crew of your ship, whichever ship you're assigned to in the fleet. And Samuel doesn't know that we can still hear him, so that's interesting. But anyway, so yeah, also check the links down below. Lots of great ways to support us by buying Trekyards merch, any of that stuff. Please super chat during these lives. We want to hear your voice. We do read them all on the air, so if you want to be a part of the hashtag Save Prodigy and talk about it, we want to hear your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, all that stuff. Super chat them in. We do read them all, so please do so to support not only us, but also Star Trek Prodigy. You will not be disappointed, I'm sure. Lots of great stuff. All right. So, you weren't muted at all that entire time, Samuel.
Did I say anything? Or just typing?
No, you were just making some tapping noises. You didn't cough or anything.
Well, that's good.
You sniffled a little bit.
Gosh, the drama, right?
Right?
Goodness.
Well, welcome back.
Thanks.
Is the fleet video still going? I can't even tell. No. Oh my god. There we go.
I've read the poll. Did you read the polls yet?
I have not read the poll yet, so let's go check out this poll. It says, are you more excited to see Prodigy Season 2 or Discovery Season 5? Go vote. It'll be interesting.
So, take us back. You were not at Star Trek Vegas. I was coughing.
No.
While not at Star Trek Vegas. It dropped. What were you doing when you heard? Did you run to a computer? Did you watch straight away? What was your first finding of this? Brand new project content you've been itching for.
I was sitting outside with Sylvia, just like hanging out in the nice weather, and I kind of quietly started watching it. And I'm like, I'm gonna watch this later, and put it off, and then watched it later in the evening. So yeah, I didn't get the full effect right away, but I was super stoked to see Voyager A. None of that was ruined for me. Same with the Doctor, wasn't ruined for me by the time I did see it, so that's good. But yeah, I was really happy to see it. It was a nice surprise. I didn't expect it coming out of Vegas for sure, but to see 4 minutes and then also have a legacy character return and Voyager A, like, that's just like handing us gold. It's like, here guys, enjoy. And especially for us at Trekyards, we get to talk about it and have stuff to look forward to for Season 2 now. So yeah, how about you? Where were you dying at the time? On the couch, in a chair, in your bed?
Well, we were gonna watch the Flash movie for the first time.
I watched that too this weekend.
In like half an hour, and I was like, everybody pause! I've got to go watch this thing first. So I did. And then I watched the Flash. That was my night. Because obviously time zones and all that. I mean, it makes more sense that Hagemans would go to the event to try and obviously drum up interest and get a fan reaction to bring something that real, because a teaser, a trailer, it's fun that they just gave a scene because it let you breathe in the world for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, obviously a trailer means you can find the little moments, find the little this one frame, that's great, right? But we got to hear Picardo, feel his vibe, see the Voyager, feel its vibe. Like it was reliving it for a second, and my giantest takeaway
was coughing.
Was that in the last 3 seconds I knew it was going to close and finish, and I was pissed off. Legitimately, I was like, that's a great start to the... Oh shit, it's ended. Because it felt like it was just getting going, right? Like, there was a genuine sense of more please, a very, very visceral more please, which is good, right? So that was annoying. But I like, great to see, obviously, that, I had already seen the Doctor because, the thumbnail, someone was posting it, trailer first reaction is his face, and it's been up for like 30 minutes, which is, right? Fine. But then it got me excited, obviously, because it's not a surprise, it's more of how they're going to approach it, so that was fun. And of course, he's one of the top bringbacks, if you could, for me anyway, so they did.
We've been saying that for a while, we'd like to see him back, so.
I mean, this is why prequels, as good as they might be, Strange Worlds can't bring back legacies in a really exciting way. And, once they stopped once they stopped doing Trek, we didn't get to see Nichelle again or any of the legacies, the original legacies that, there's still 3 around, that you could still make a Chekhov weirdly old miniseries. You could do it. It'd be hard, but you could do it, right?
Yeah.
But, so we've got a decade or two with these legacy people, utilize them. It's heartbreaking when they don't, and they're just going to get older and less able to do it. So use them, and so obviously seeing back, I'm glad we did. Obviously, as I said to you in another review, it confuses me. Are they implying, if he's in the first episode, that he's going to be a special guest star Rob Picardo for the first episode, and maybe part of episode 2, and then leave, or is he going to be a regular? Because that's how you tend to play a first episode character. He could be there and then gone, versus there and then stay.
Well, Chris Gavin says, thanks for respecting the spoiler slant, guys. I think that was sarcastic. Well, it came out on Saturday. This is Wednesday. We gave it a lot of time to breathe. And as Samuel said, within like 30 minutes, there was stuff being posted about it. So
there's loads.
I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, we're actually late to the party because of various reasons.
Yeah. So
it's odd, not talk about stuff for 5 days. It's like, how the internet is. Hi, Stanley's. What was your biggest one takeaway? Like, small thing. Not necessarily the ship, but like, small thing.
Besides having Robert Picardo back?
That's not a small thing, yeah. Biggest small thing.
Just the dialogue about the wormhole. And that the kids, it's been months. It's also been months that the kids have been doing things and learned on how to do things via Starfleet. So those two things were kind of cool. There was a lot of information kind of packed into this. And I think mainly it was just the time gap. A couple months has passed, and the kids are more experienced, and they've been starting their training. So,
yeah, the biggest small thing for me was that they hand wave the protostar, but the way they frame it is that we're moving into the new hero ship. Like, please, guys, embrace it. This isn't a conventional Trek story in that this is the Voyager, we're going to follow it for 7 years. This is the DS9, we're going to follow it for sort of 4 years, and then we're going to leave it for a bit, and then go on the Defiant, and then come back. It's about the journey within the story. So the Protostar Season 1, Voyager A Season 2, Computer Ship Season 3, etc. That was a fun vibe, because I think we were all wondering, they're just going to be on the Protostar again, the new Protostar.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I love how they even mentioned the Protostar is still being worked on. We did see it at the end of last season, but so.
Well, they got to install that damn carpet,
Yeah, it takes time. Yeah. Hypnomember says, I'm going to miss the Protostar. I don't think we're going to miss it for long. Like I was kind of speculated, I think the first 5 to 10 episodes won't have it in, but I think it might be end up coming to the rescue, whether being captained by like B'Elanna Torres or something, if she's not on Voyager A, or Paris. Somebody is going to come to the rescue of the new Voyager and the Protostar. So you're going to see both ships side by side on screen doing things. Well, that's kind of my vibe.
It is still a god ship. It can proto-warp across the quadrant, right? So it's the perfect rescue craft.
Yep.
So let it get built, let it get fixed, and then, or Riker.
Yeah.
The 7th Riker drop out of warp save in as many years.
Oh, jeez.
That would be annoyingly making sense.
I think too we might even see 2 protostars. I have a feeling that the original protostar might not have got destroyed in the explosion that created the wormhole. Wouldn't it be cool if the ship was somehow protected and came out the other side, maybe albeit damaged, and that hologram Janeway is also still fine? That'd be a nice surprise for season 2. Whether they'll do that or not, I don't know, but I think it's something that we can't rule out necessarily. So,
how much would that diminish the power of the season 1 finale, though?
Quite a bit, but it's not like it was expected to happen. Everybody thinks it blew up. Janeway was sacrificing her program, essentially. And then this happens all the time, where something happens that just throws things for a little bit of a loop. And I would be fine with it, honestly. I don't think it would take that much away if it was told well, which it would be with Prodigy. So,
well, it's the ship loss itself, I think, would be less good, but and you sort of forget because she's mentioned, but not actively per se. The hologram Janeway character was a real character in the show, which is a good job them, right? And you killed the character. Because the 2 Janeways, doesn't matter if they're both called Janeway, they are not the same role, they're not going to do the same thing, they'll not have the same scenes, as they shouldn't, right? They should be rather different. So, even though, yes, the character itself is a non-physical, sentient being, the loss is still felt, right? It's still, you kill the character. Normally shows kill a character in their first season, except TNG, etc. So, obviously you could bring another hologram at any point, but it wouldn't be the same version, it wouldn't be the same vibe. But if we don't need Holo Janeway, then we don't need, the Holo Janeway being the training wheels for these characters, moving into their own. Especially if and when, and the vibe certainly in the first bit is they've grown up quite a lot. They've suddenly been given a lot of knowledge. They've experienced. They've been trained. Rock Top was a runt that then woke up on a ship and just fixed stuff. There's no training. All of them have nothing to base anything on. So give them anything and they're able to shine. They're prodigies, right? That's kind of the point. Do they need Holo Janeway? Is kind of the way I'm going there. Then obviously more smarter than them in every way, the need to call up a helper doesn't necessarily feel as much when you're now trained. So I could see that being that pushing forward. The EMH is not going to take the same shit or help in the same way. So I could see, but like I say, but then it's loss of a character. It's a genuine death. Do we want them back? Do we want her back? Do we not? We've got another Janeway. It is tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah. And we've also kind of speculated that on Voyager, they said a crew of 600 or something on that. It's a Lamar class.
Yeah, 800. Yeah. Crazy.
So a large ship.
Really large.
And it would make sense for Janeway to kind of gather the crew together, get, like we said, get B'Elanna on board, get other Voyager characters on to go rescue Chakotay. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's tricky because they're all going to be high-ranking, busy people. You can't just grab division heads. You know what I mean? You wouldn't just be able to suddenly get the DS9 crew back. They're all specialists where they are. Hell of a thing. You get 1 or 2, right? I'm going to go and grab this person. Although, I don't know.
Like Tuvok probably wouldn't show up because he's been in Picard and he's got other stuff going on.
And then suddenly he'd show up in a ship because he has a ship. Security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, B'Elanna or Tom Paris are good choices. I know Tom Paris was in Lower Decks, but yeah, I know.
There.
I know. I'm just stating a fact. So I don't expect the whole crew to get back together by any means, but even Harry Kemp, where is he at? What's he doing? What rank is he?
I joked to you previously that if they were going to be very zeitgeisty, pitch the streamers, you go season 3 and we'll make it a Voyager reunion.
Yeah.
Get everyone back. Picard just did it. We've actually got double the episodes, half the time, but double the episodes. Yeah. You could do it, and they certainly have at least 3 in this season. But I want to see people like Naomi Wildman and Morale Paris. I mean, there's been, not so much years for Morale, but 7-year-old morale would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Icheb would be great.
Yeah.
Alive Icheb in Starfleet. He's not going to get murdered for that long.
Yeah.
Icheb would be great. I mean, and honestly, that's a very useful officer to have. Borg, talented. Let's be honest, a prodigy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the other thing that's interesting, as Dan points out. The clip said the ship has technologies from the Delta Quadrant and then some, which got me thinking: does it have like a blade of? Does it have the armor?
Well, didn't it say technologies from our travels?
No, it says technologies from the Delta Quadrant.
Right.
I believe.
Well, it wouldn't have a blade of armor. It hasn't got a blade of armor generators, and that's temporal tech, and they don't use that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what kind of technologies they're referring to specifically.
I mean, Voyager has...
some.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like everything's a prototype until you put it into a ship. Like, a new ship, you know. But, you know, like, you could argue, look, our advanced new dilithium we found on an asteroid once in Voyager, we were powered by that. Does it make a difference? Well, not from the outside. Just more advanced. Yep.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what kind of tricks Voyager has up its sleeve.
Because it is a big... Ignore the window scale, which is entirely broken. They should know better. 800 people. 29 decks. This shit's big. That said, of course, the way the secondary hull's cut out, there's almost no secondary hull at a certain point. So it's not as much space as you think when you break it down. Kind of like Voyager's got a lot of internal volume for its size. It's really, really efficient. I mean, it's literally is all, you know.
Yeah. Grant McGregor, though, throws in $5 for Super Chat of the Day. Thank you so much, Grant. You don't have to bring everyone back, but Barclay can fit in because he knows a thing or two about wormholes.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. That's a great suggestion, Grant.
Well, because, is this show going to be known as a Voyager sequel show? Of course, you throw Chakotay in the mix, you bring Janeway, this equates. EMH makes sense too, because he's just so damn useful. But yeah, Barclay's a really good choice. And again, you could argue a Prodigy, just much older.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But would they get the actor back? It's like they haven't brought Shatner back for reasons.
I don't think Dwight's anywhere near as uppity or...
No, I meant political things that some people don't like.
Oh, that shit, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, but they shouldn't remove the character from our universe. Because he's a really good choice to bring back for many reasons.
Yeah, and he has done his stint in Voyager. He knows the crew, so...
So it's technically a Voyager TNG both. That's a really good point, actually. Yeah. And I mean, I could see him... I'll be on the design team.
I'm bored with what's going on, and I'm starting to get back into Hollow Addiction. I will definitely go. keep my mind busy and try to keep my addiction at bay. Sure, works out perfectly for him.
Oh dear.
Because we've seen him kind of relapse into that before, right? So
I
have. Nanoprobes, and they tell them the ship that they've gotten in the Delta Quadrant to scare them. Yeah, but with the way the doctor was talking about it, it's just like there's some interesting tech on here which we haven't got into yet. So, and Hypno Amber says, "See, I'm worried about it being a Voyager sequel show because I want a live action show, maybe a reunion on Legacy if it happens." We'd all like to see the live action reunion of these guys, but...
I mean, just give us more, right?
Yeah, this one's already primed to be a Voyager sequel show because Janeway, Delta Quadrant, now we got the Doctor. It's like it's all fallen into place. So.
Plus, Voyager doesn't get enough love. Just saying.
It's true.
Yeah, all the other side shows need love.
Yeah.
But also the interest, or lack thereof, but hopefully interest, showing these characters, unlike Picard Season 1, oh look, everyone's out of Starfleet all depressed. Or, everyone's in Starfleet and doing a good job. It makes you, after 20 years, being like, oh great, I want to see more adventures with them. You know, that's what most people said at the end of season 3 of Picard. Oh my goodness, they want to say, you know, they want to see these people back, even though they're in their 70s and 80s. Like seeing them viscerally did stuff, you know.
And then it says, yeah, the clip says technology's on their journeys.
Thought so. Yeah, I just watched it. Because it leaves it vague, right? Because there's also whose journeys. Starfleet's journeys, EMH's journeys. Vaguity is good. Except when they say 800 crew and 29 decks, which is all the way vague.
Yeah. Well, at least we got some information on it. Like it's a lot of information jammed in a 4-minute clip. But let's be fair.
Well, you can see why they picked it. But still, you know, not a full clear view, which is annoying. No bridge, of course, which is annoying. No Janeway, which is annoying. But they probably thought, yeah, what 4 minutes pack the most punch? Because at this point, let's be honest, they're not worried about holding back too much. Because, of course, they're already cancelled.
Yeah.
You know, they want this to get excitement. And I want to get excitement. And, again, the Doctor, wonderful. I really wish, you know, fan films were not limited by the guidelines in any way. Because, you know, you can hire these you could originally hire these actors, you know, getting him to play, because I can do de-aging, right? So I'm sure I could have convinced him. Can you imagine going to LA, going to his house, up as a green screen, putting him in a Voyager costume and doing de-age on Picardo, and boom, now you've got young, you know, Picardo. You could, I bet I could do it. You know, would have been great. But STLV.
Mark Lawrence, though, $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Mark.
Amazing.
Showed my kids the video and they are excited. My wife and I are too. Long live Prodigy.
Yeah.
Hashtag save Star Trek Prodigy. I'm going to put that in the chat because people need to keep using that.
Yeah. Well, as I said, previously, this is the first time since 2004 that show got cancelled. A Trek show got cancelled, removed.
After winning an Emmy, and then days after it got canceled by Paramount, it got nominated for another award. Like literally 5 days later, as a real slap to the face of Paramount. Like, we just canceled this thing.
But quality does not equate to longevity. I mean, how many movies are genuinely quite crap? You might enjoy them, but you know they're quite crap. But the viewership warrants them to... Well, people like to watch crap.
Yeah.
You know.
So bad it's good type stuff.
Yeah.
So.
But also just, you know, people don't... Yeah, a lot of people want just to enjoy an afternoon away from the real world.
Yeah.
How often can you watch, say, a Game of Thrones? The complexity, the darkness, the drama, it takes a different, you know, brain process. You watch a soap, and my grandma loves soaps. Like, it's just real life, but on the television. That's the point. Yeah. It's not exciting. It's boring. It's simple because it's meant to be just a nice, gentle, you know, day with your family, almost.
Yeah. 60 people here, 47 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Someone hit that 50 goal. So if you're just joining us, hit like. We'd appreciate that. Let's see how high we can get. And keep the super chats coming. We want to know what you guys want us to talk about from this clip. And,
you know, what? Sorry,
really? Yeah. Yep.
I went through a brain. Sorry, I went through a brain process there.
That's okay.
No, but it's interesting because this is such a real feeling clip. Why couldn't they just release the first episode on the Paramount YouTube? They did it for Discovery, they did it for Strange New Worlds, they did it for Picard. Maybe it's a temp thing. I know it lowers the market share by 1/40th or 1/20th of the episode count, but like you could release it. I mean, you don't need a distribution deal for the YouTube site.
Yeah. We get more buzz going for it and get it, promoted a little more for streaming services. Sure, yeah.
Because the problem with that, though, obviously, is that just like with, that's why I say to people who I know that do Indiegogos or GoFundMes or whatever, you can only launch once. So once you do it, you've done that thing. People now know that was your launch. If it doesn't look very sleek or good, that's what people think of, and you can't relaunch with a better version. It'll just you look bad, right? So if they do release on YouTube and say it only gets 30,000 views, you've put the nail in the coffin to there's no interest. Free, YouTube, public, that few views, it's not going to get like 1 million because it's an animated, it's a niche program. So,
You know what we should do is play that exclusive Aaron Waltke clip made for Trekyards here on the
Still
slide.
haven't watched yet.
Oh, well, watch it. It's really good.
Can I?
It's about his love for Prodigy.
Well, that's good. Because he works on Prodigy.
It's Trekyards specific, so... Anyway, he was nice enough to make us a video for that, so this would be kind of a cool place to do it, to kind of get more buzz out there.
Find it. Get a vamp for a minute.
Vamp, 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 Dracula, Nosferatu, vamping, vamp, vamp, vamp. So we want to keep Prodigy kind of front and center if we can, and talk about it whenever we're able to, just because hashtag Save Prodigy needs to be a thing. It's already kind of slipping away from people. Like, it's not talked about. You don't see it, talked about as much. Even I was expecting more stuff to come out from Vegas after that, but we got I didn't hear much anything else. So, and I know the strike is
they couldn't talk about the show.
I know the strike definitely affecting that, but Prodigy doesn't apply because it's an animated show. She thought they may put more emphasis on that, and maybe release something else. But anyway, Thirst Contact, member for 39 months at the rank of Commander.
Amazing.
So you guys getting anything from Master Replicas, unreleased Eagle Moss ships, and other collectibles? I'm trying to get USS Cerritos, and I hope they release the Rick Sternbach Pegasus concept there. I want to get the XL Cerritos, which is in their drop this Friday, actually. Right as we start our lives. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, last week I was 5 minutes later.
Yeah, we're going to be starting this one earlier.
Yeah.
So I might have to
Bye, Stuart. This is the Klingon.
Yeah.
It's the Klingon dramatic scene.
Duck out for a minute or two. Well, we'll see how it goes. I can always pick it up on the secondary market later, but it'll be way too expensive.
Yeah,
so.
That's the kind of the point.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some Eagle Moss ships I still want to get. So I've missed a lot of their drops though, which is a shame. But that's okay.
I mean, I was in the first 4 because that's the whole point. They're doing unreleased stuff, so I did get the unreleased stuff because it's just collectors, whatever. They weren't bad unreleased stuff, but having got the collection at the time, obviously, if you want to get the small things, if they have 30, and there's 400 people on the site, you can't get anything, except the stuff that, like I say, has been a fresh drop with 1,000, where they have it for a few minutes. Etc. So I did manage to get everything I've looked for, which is good.
That's good.
And actually, the Stargate X2 did arrive today, so I managed to get that. It just arrived this morning, so I was able to look at that, which is nice. They just announced there's a Orville unreleased and Expanse unreleased, which I'm sure when I eventually watch Expanse, I'll be pissed I haven't got any of the ships, and I've lost out on all the chances. But spending £40-50 on ships I don't know if I like or not is a ridiculous thing to do right now. Because they mean nothing to me currently.
Do we know what the Orville ship is? Is it the Dreadnought?
No. Because they have to do the splits. No, it's the standard Kalon attack ship.
Gotcha.
Which we're doing great in a normal collection because you're like, oh, that's cool. Then 3 later the fighter, and then it'd be the
Yeah.
More than only 3. But I spent every week I was getting deliveries from them because I got something every week. So I was kind of happy to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Because they are what they cost, right? And it's like they're expensive, but they're the lowest they're ever going to be. So I was like, well, I have to get this, have to get this. And I was like, this is not good for my bank. Please stop. And luckily I managed to get all the stuff.
And Ozzy says, will the new Voyager A land on a planet like the original did? Very unlikely, looking at its size. So I don't think so.
Surprised. Not say they could make some reason for it, but I'd be surprised.
Well, it does look like the front of the saucer might slide into the back of the saucer, so maybe that part comes out. And I could see them doing something weird like that, but
weird would be the word.
Yeah.
But I have Mr. Aaron Not live,
Ooh.
obviously. But I'll be live watching this the first time, so that's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I can actually hear it. I need to do it as a screen record, so I can actually listen. If it was a VLC, you can't hear it.
Yeah.
So let me know if you can all hear it. Just put it in
And
there.
we will release this as a separate video for people to watch later, because I think it's a short one. People will watch it. So
Yes. It was his birthday yesterday, so that is nice.
yes, happy birthday,
So,
Aaron.
super chat for Aaron.
It was also my anniversary yesterday.
There you go. You'll always remember.
Yeah.
All right. I'll at least hear it. Let's see if you can all hear it. 3, 2, 1, action.
Greetings, Trekyards. Aaron Waltke here. I just wanted to pop in and say, on behalf of all of the very talented cast and crew on Star Trek Prodigy, thank you so much for your amazing support of our show. We're incredibly proud of the work that we did on Season 1, and I think that audiences have also kind of responded in a really overwhelming way to make their voices heard, and that they would love to see more. The work we did on Prodigy that's been out so far was very much a labor of love. So many of us on the crew are diehard Star Trek fans, and the endeavor to bring it to the next generation and inspire the new people that might uphold Star Trek's ideals and, aspire to create their own sort of Starfleet here in our world was a mission statement that meant a lot to us. Sometimes you look out at the world and you wish it was a little bit more like Starfleet. And I think that seeing it from the outsider's perspective that Prodigy provides really, is a golden opportunity that I think we would love to see continue. We always thought about Prodigy as this really interesting experiment of, given that there are 50 plus years of canon and stories and characters, what's the ideal way in? And even growing up, people that weren't Star Trek fans would ask me, what's the perfect way into Star Trek? And I would have to pause and think, because it is a little bit like Terry Gilliam's Discworld, where there's kind of like so many possible ways in, but they are always referencing something else or asking questions or coming up with really interesting ideas that are planted in the middle of a story that you're trying to just catch up with. And so with Prodigy, we wanted to create a story that was all about introducing new and young audiences to the Star Trek universe. And obviously we started very small, simple questions like, how does the Universal Translator work? What are transporters? What's the Prime Directive? And then slowly, like building a cathedral brick by brick while standing in it, we're able to create this amazing foundation and then launch headlong, setting our course straight for Starfleet and straight on till morning. I feel very confident that Prodigy will find a new home. In a strange way, I think a lot of people are waking up to that it was a really delightful show, and in a way, I think that maybe this is an opportunity to bring in a whole new audience that has never seen this show before. So I encourage everyone out there to continue, find those Blu-rays, find that merchandise, support our show with your wallet, or even just supporting the word, spreading the word that you would follow Star Trek Prodigy wherever it goes. I think our show is in a very unique position, especially since we have a season 2 with 20 episodes that have not yet been seen by anyone, that I think there's a very good shot at finding a new home for our series. So thanks again, Trekyards, for everything that you've done for us. We love the show over there, and keep the faith, and live logs and proper.
He ended it on his own joke that he wrote. Ah, silly man. Silly man.
It's a good message, though. I like how he's like, it's a building block to get people into Star Trek. And the people that involved know enough about Star Trek and have a love for it that they've really done a good job with it. So, yeah. Love hearing from Aaron. He's a good guy. There you go. That's a world exclusive video, everybody. And you guys, all 63 of you, were here to watch it. So hit that like button and super chat in anything you guys want to talk about in regards to this clip or just Prodigy in general. We want to hear from you guys. So let's see. Do the pylons move on Voyager A? I feel that's an important piece of the Voyager, says Sci-Fi Quest. We looked at the ship for our video on it, and
you will today as well. Just
yes, yeah, go check that out. It doesn't appear that way, but you know, it probably has a lot of surprises up its sleeve, like I said. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, everything in Trek should be form follows function.
Yeah.
Which is why when they have, you know, look, here's a glow. What does it do? Shut up.
Yeah.
So the reason, of course, that the warp pylon's moving is because warp was destabilizing space, and so for that brief moment in Trek canon, they made modified warp geometry in nacelles to allow for a better warp system, and then it was abandoned because they didn't do that storyline any further. So that's the only reason it has those nacelles that move. So while it is an aesthetically different thing, that reason no longer exists. So it'd be weird to have the same tech without another thing like, oh, you can only go to slipstream without moving the nacelles. Then there you go, there's an answer. But for the sake of it, doesn't make sense. And someone did, you know, comment on our video. Why would the ship look anything like Voyager? The B doesn't look anything like the refit, doesn't look the C not like the B, the D, the E, the B, the E. You know, none of the Enterprises look like themselves. So why would you expect it to?
They all do.
It's not what they thought.
Saucer secondary hull and 2 nacelles.
Well, this has a source of secondary hull and 2 nacelles, so it's done its job.
Yeah, it's flat too, like Voyager. So yeah.
So exactly. It's interesting. Like, it shouldn't like Voyager because they never do. We kind of got so accustomed to it. So the fact it looks just nothing like Voyager is probably a good thing. Maybe.
Yeah, and I cannot wait to see it launched and see it flying around. I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful ship. So,
just very, very chrome. Very, very, very chrome. But Stuart, let's go into this video. That's the word.
That's the word.
We get establishing of the Bay Area, not the Academy, just place.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely HQ of some form, but not quite sure. I always like these sorts of things. I like seeing where their budget ends. Because, you know, to the left-hand side, those pillars look very basic.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of little people around there, too, on the landing pads and stuff, which is a nice little touch.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I like these sorts of grand scales. Like, even looking back at the Sith skyline, like, the way they use map paintings is great in this show because it's too expensive to model in 3D. So a lot of this, I'm guessing, is map painting, digital extension. So, I mean, the geometry is very simple, but it actually does have kind of a flair to it. You know, simplicity, you have to have a good design, right?
Yeah.
In a Starfleet modern century.
Neil Hammersmith, though, says Voyager A looked like a mock-up and not a final model. Definitely looks that way when you see some Eve's drawings and the process used for CG building. It's missing Aztecing and other surface details. Yeah, we couldn't see blinkies. We couldn't see any goddamn lights. And the lights that were there or the windows, I mean, were way too out of scale, out of whack. And no windows at all in the secondary hull. So
we've said that about so many ships and so many trailers, and they've always been final.
Except for the Discovery Alpha.
That wasn't a real trailer, though. That was
I know it wasn't. It was...
That was good. But we prefer that, though, so... I'm sure that is their final, because, you know... I mean, it's not... But you assume it's Aztecing. Not every ship is Aztecing, right? Voyager hasn't got Aztecing. So, you can't miss it if it's not meant to be there.
Yeah.
But yes, it's missing details, but the Dauntless is missing phaser strips. all sorts of physical things. So it's animated. They do miss things, and we'll talk about that when we get there again.
Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't see any phaser strips on it either, so maybe it'll fire from the RCS thrusters, just like the Dauntless did in Season 1.
Yeah.
Anyway. Next shot, we get a shot of the shuttle coming in. And we saw these shuttles in the end of Season 1, which was great. That was the first hint we're going to go to Voyager A. Then we see the kids all lined up with their new uniforms, which are a video coming out about that too.
Now, of course, in this still, to me personally, since we're in the sunny environment, as everyone knows, synthetic blacks go red after you walk around in the sun for long enough. This to me looked like a sunburned black, because normally they'd be black and that colour scheme makes sense. Like it has that sort of gross, non-real red. But in other shots, it's clearly just red, like a dark wine. So odd choice, odd choice. The choice is odd, Stuart. The choice is odd.
Dark wine color, and I don't have a problem with it. Like it's not a division color really. It's something unique for the kids, so that's fine.
Yeah, because they even say that, Dahl says, "Hey, look at all these people I used to know. I wish our divisions interacted more," which is very true. Why would you? You don't hang out with people unless you work with them, and then if you're not on the same ship station base, you're not gonna. There's a reason the bar you see people, but also, I mean, I can imagine on a ship. All the different divisions have a different work schedule. If you're fixing the ship all day long, do you really want to go to the bar? You might just want to go to bed. For sciencing all day long, you might want to go to the holodeck after all the get out of a stuffy place and go to Arboretum. And there's also obviously 3 shifts, etc. So seeing any of your friends is going to be more difficult unless you happen to correspond and be lucky, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But in the next frame, I didn't even notice this before, but their bags are different. Rock Talk has a medical bag,
there you go.
And Jankum has an engineering bag.
Yep.
Rock Talk went into xenoanthropology, I believe. That was suggested for her at the last episode because she was dealing with Murph, and so cool. I didn't notice the bags were different, but that's neat.
Yeah, Starfleet has a big budget; they can give them custom bags, and not just with deltas on them. Not just deltas, anyway.
Yeah.
And it's nice. We didn't necessarily... I mean, were they all necessarily going to get in Starfleet? I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily thought that far ahead. But they all got cadet, they all got... Not cadet, but they all got pre-cadet. It's nice, They all have... Because that lets you, just like with Rock Talk previously, they let you jump the shark slightly with... Yeah, well, they do have this sudden knowledge. And that's okay, right? Because they've done things. They've done some sort of training courses on things.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Jankum's new hairstyle, though.
Oh.
I also love how he's trying to be more polite and not. So he is learning, which is good. Wonder if he still refers to himself as in the third person all the time, or if he's got over that.
It's funny because, of course, that it's a personality trait, right?
Yeah.
So, allowed to be argumentative a bit. But obviously, yeah, he was by himself for a long time. He just is a bit, a bit crotchety, etc. But it's good to see him all together.
Yeah.
Zero's still got the same very clean Apple look. What's funny in this sort of shot, though, is that the height differences are really radical when you then see them together. Rodtalk's real small. Not Rodtalk. Jankum's real small. Real small.
Jankum is a stout fellow.
Like 3'5". I mean, it's that's why their comm badges are entirely differently scaled.
Yeah.
The comm badge scale
about that during Season 1.
The comm badge scale is you lost the battle and the war. Give up, dear friend. They'll never fix it. Because at the end of the day, if they're making the true size, they'll be even more wonky looking. They just didn't quite get them right for this.
Rock Talks would be like the size of my phone.
Yeah.
Stick it on.
Jankum's would for sure. Although no Murph moment here. This entire, hey guys,
No.
Murph is entirely silent in terms of. I wonder why. Because are they going to let Murph join Starfleet? What does Murph join
I
Starfleet
don't know.
mean?
Good question.
Yeah. I have no idea. But it's a nice
Anyway.
vibe, right? It's a nice camaraderie ship vibe, which is definitely nice.
Yeah. But the shuttle touches down. Those are beefy nacelles, man.
Yeah, this shuttle's not playing.
No. And we get the reveal of the Doctor, complete with mobile emitter.
Or complete with the shuttle being pitch black just to allow his silhouette to come through. Why is the shuttle pitch black? Why is the shuttle pitch black? What? There's a secondary yellow? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, the shuttle's quite a beast. It'll be interesting. Well, we see the inside of it in this. And it's quite large. So.
Yeah, EMH, like 7 people wide. That is a giant shuttle. That's the thing. That's a problem when you have not live action. The limitations of we've physically got to build it no longer apply. So Type 6 being 3-ish people wide, it feels grounded. 8, it's like that feels like a runabout. Wow, runabout.
In Squadron Course, is it just me or is Zero's suit taller? I don't know if it's taller. I've sort of gotten used to it by now. I didn't like the new suit at the end of the season 1. But having all that time to kind of rewatch it and think about it, and now seeing this, it's like, that's pretty cool. A little generic, but I prefer the original one, actually. But this one's not too bad.
Not better than Deltas everywhere.
That's true. But, oh, wow.
But it's it's an introduction. The EMH is back. He has not been in anything since Endgame. Unless you count. No, he was in DS9 for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
As the EMH. As an EMH.
Yeah. And Kieran Spores is surprised that the Doctor does not have rank pips by now. I wonder what his status is. Still has ECH option. I don't think he's got emergency command hologram option. Maybe he does. I'm surprised he doesn't have pips either. I know that the holograms generally don't, they just don't have pips, but I think he'd get a special dispensation for that, considering all he's been through. But hey.
What does rank be then?
That's a good question. I don't know.
If
I was him, I would just wear pips until I ran into an officer and I would just delete the pips as I'm walking up to him. He's a hologram. He can do that.
Kind of stolen valor situation a bit.
Oh no, I think he's earned it. He's definitely
though?
He's done all the things.
Because the problem is, if he starts his career, his life, as insanely smart, 'cause he's got a database, he should at least be captain rank, given his knowledge. I mean, he out-knowledges Kim, etc.
Captain of medicine, sure. Like Scotty was a captain of engineering.
But if you're going for pure rank, like he outsmarts most people he meets just because he's programmed to. But then anybody could also any hologram could if they just download. That's why it's tricky to do holograms, because they just. He could literally download a new program to his head and be smarter and know this better. It's a hard thing to be. So I'm fine with no pips. It's the hologram staple. I mean, especially if he's meant to be unique, right? So he's known to be the medical hologram doctor that everyone knows. He's a special envoy. He's
Just remember, he's a doctor, not a butler.
And as someone who has written those lines before, it's odd how often they come up organically. But that was pretty flawless. Of like, yep, we're doing the joke. Yeah. And I know you've had sometimes things to say on these actors, like, oh, he sounds really old now, or something. How do you think he sounded then? Age?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's Ricardo. He's amazing, just as a person and an actor. Like, he knows his lines. He remembers all his lines from Voyager, pretty much. Don't know if he has an eidetic memory or whatever, but he will quote passages from episodes on stage, and he does his little short videos on YouTube, where he just does scenes again. Now, how much brushing up he has to do, I don't know, but he's pretty knowledgeable on the equipment and stuff. I've seen him do interviews on props, and he cares about Star Trek enough, unlike some actors, where he like talks about the details and he seems to really enjoy it. So,
but he's also the sort of character that was sort of pigeonholed a bit. You know, he spent how many hundreds of hours with medical tricorder. He just,
yeah.
It's not a very complicated prop, right? So he just remembered what it did. You know what I mean? There isn't much to remember if you break down the basics of that sort of like the prop thing, which is nice. Episodes, you ask at conventions for 20 years what's your favorite episode, you're gonna have an answer with potentially with lines if you have any caring. And he's such a he's in so many different fandoms, Stargate, and he's a cult genre actor. So he does a lot of conventions for a lot of things. So he knows the fan vibe, the fan reaction. Plus he is a bit quirky, so it all kind of comes to play. But he does sound older, but he can sound older. But that's just because I think I associate more Picardo's voice with the season 1 to 3 him, where he's a bit more pep in the step, or 2 to 3. But that's okay, right? That's neither here nor there because he murdered out quite well. As I said in our review, I think the shadows of this part is a little bit too dark, but it's a style choice, right? Clearly him, clearly the vibe. Good to see him in blue. Mobilus is too low down, but that's just the nature of the uniform. And like I say, I hope he's not just going to be a one episode. Look, special guest star leaving because I would love to see him regular. Maybe not every episode, but he could be so useful in so many situations.
Well, like I kind of said, I hope that's the case. I hope he's a member of Voyager's crew in some capacity, and he's kind of like the new surrogate hologram for the kids.
Yeah.
They had hologram Janeway for season 1. Why not have this guy be their confidant for season 2?
Yeah.
Right.
Especially as if you're going for vibe difference, a friendly training hologram versus a more crotchety, opinionated hologram. That's a fun bounce back, right? And obviously this hologram knows Janeway very, very well, so you get that freedom of opinion that you wouldn't get if you didn't know her that well. So that's all fun. And he mentions the ETH that they were using, emergency training hologram. It was quite cute to hear.
Yeah.
Because not everybody can be friends with a hologram. Not everyone thinks they're treats them the way they could be. So these 4 people, he knows from logs that they really liked a hologram, so he's going to be on their wavelength. He's going to be more friendly to them just innately because yes, these people get it, right?
Yeah absolutely.
No, it's good to see.
We got a nice lift off, and let me see the interior of the shuttle. I love it's got multicolored display panels. It's kind of like TOS 5 almost with the colors that they chose, which is kind of weird, honestly. But there you get a good shot of the inside. You got a nice big briefing table, and I do like the design of the shuttle, I gotta say. Complete with a holographic display table. Nice.
Yeah. It's definitely a function shuttle. It's not a shuttle.
Yeah.
You don't have a giant table in the middle unless you're prioritizing meetings and briefings versus just moving people from one step to another. LCARs wise, a bit odd, but they've had some very, very odd LCARs in season 1. Where they just shove purples and blues at the screen and say, LCARs. It doesn't... Michael Okuda, very deliberate in his direction. This is very undeliberate in its direction. It's just, let's just make colours for kids. So again, one of those pinches of salt. I don't believe that as a real LCARS interface. Sorry. It's too random looking, right?
I disagree with you on that one, but hey. I tend to disagree with you sometimes.
But you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. 100%, yes.
I love seeing the 2 officers wearing the uniforms, the Aphibolian. Oh, interesting. You remember I complained the badge and the doctor was obscenely high. On the Bolian, it's still touching the black, which is what they do sometimes, but it's actually below. Still too small, but below. On the EMH, it's actually at the line, which it shouldn't be. That's weird.
Yeah, it looks better on the Bolian for sure.
Yeah, because that's what it's meant to be. That's weird. Because on the EMH, it's above the line. I mean, there's little things that if a 3D modeler didn't pay attention and just had it too high, and the VFX supervisor didn't notice it, then, oh no, it's in 10 episodes. We just made this giant mistake because it shouldn't be there. It looks silly.
Yeah. And guys, super chat in. Any questions? Yes. Anything you guys want to talk about in regards to this clip we saw?
Yeah.
Any questions about Prodigy in general? Let us know. So, show your interest. Let's see what we got for Prodigy, guys. Hashtag say Prodigy. Do it.
Yes. Who need you guys support?
Let me get the whole diatribe about the wormhole. And I don't remember the exact dialogue, but basically they're heading out there with Voyager to see what's going on.
Well, yeah, they want to know what's the cool mission. Oh, the mission is the thing we knew from last season. It's just this wormhole is a problem. It's still functional. It's still a doorway between two realities, because that's an alternate universe, alternate timeline. Pretty big stuff. First time we've had a gateway to an alternate timeline, I think so. That conceit being part of the plot, and the Doctor's very straightforward. Like, this is where we're going. It's what we're doing, and Dahl he quotes a TNG line from ages ago about there's two Solums now because like we know our friend is going to one now. Yes. There's one then, and they're different.
One's dystopian and Civil War. This one's peaceful and idyllic. Yeah.
But if we change the one now, it won't affect that one then, because that one then is a fake. Like it's not our version. But it'll affect the then that could be. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And Rockchalk's like, you did not study temporal mechanics, and he's like, I want to be a captain. Shush. You science. I captain. Very him.
And Squadra Course, $2. Can you give us a quick update on hashtag Save Prodigy? Just that the Hagermans are hopeful. I've been talking to some people from Vegas. They're hopeful that it'll be picked up. It's looking very promising at this point. Apparently there's some infighting between Paramount and CBS. It's one of the reasons that this got canceled. But yeah, and it really, like I said, it was a slap in the face to get an award nomination like 5 days after they announced the cancellation. But it couldn't be more perfectly timed. So.
Oh, Squadron, yeah. So, there is good news in that they actually did announce the Season 1 Part 2 Blu-ray, and now it's going international, because that was another sticking point of, yes, to US, because they just cancelled the Lower Decks international Blu-ray release. It's now only DVD.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is just
stupid.
Pathetic, right? Pathetic. They had to do a separate cut of the trailer just saying, out on DVD July 14th, whatever month. It's like, on DVD, what, the format from 20 years ago that no one collects?
Wouldn't say no one collects it, but yeah.
I mean, if it's 0.1% of the physical market, there's a point where a metric becomes nobody, right? Anyway, so the fact they did commit to put the money in to make the Season 1.5 Blu-ray and do international is a good sign. It shows they knew the market was there to buy it, and it's another data point because the first Blu-ray sold out after it cancelled. Possibly a fluke. If this one also has giant sales, then it shows the month-to-month gap kept interest going. So everyone go ahead and buy season. I mean, why wouldn't you buy it anyway, right? There's even a ship feature on it. Excellent. Can't wait to watch that.
And I've heard talk that Playmates is still going ahead with the Prodigy release, Prodigy ship, the Protostar. So yes, for that. We got a sneak peek at their Enterprise D, which has saucer separation capabilities. So Playmates is still in the game doing things. So hopefully we get a Protostar at some point. And that would be awesome. Go buy it. I definitely will be.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things that we almost have to celebrate their bad decisions by giving them money, but that is the way you give them metrics, is by buying items. So that's really good, right? That means they didn't drop it, even though they literally dropped it, they didn't actually drop it as a thing. Anything post-cancellation is a plus. There's also a new book that's still coming out, that's fine. So those are actually good things. But But
Well,
obviously,
it's a real book though, and like a novel, because I got the 3 other books from Amazon, and they're young readers. They're just like that thick. They're not anything special. I would love an actual novel, you know.
tricky one to do, because when you said it, it can't be really between the, you know, it's a hard thing to. Anyway, I was going to say something else.
Samuel.
Yeah, no, I had another thing I was going to say about this. Oh yeah, now,
Metrics.
huh?
I was trying to remind you. We were talking about metrics and stuff.
Yeah, no, the unfortunately / fortunately, the fact the strikes are going on is also only a good thing for Prodigy, because of course content is not being made in any meaningful way new, right? So having a TV show with 20 episodes, and it'll be done by Christmas, whole thing. So it could be 40, 20 episodes. Boom, here you go. Each streaming service is getting more and more nervous for new content. So I can very much see this as a, because people like Christmas season releases. I can imagine this is, they're waiting for metrics. They're getting negotiations. They're gonna wait for a deal. Amazon or whatever goes for the dropping all 20 on December 22nd, holiday release, and make it a binge show for families over Christmas. That I could see them doing. It suck for us, like, we'd watch as much as we can over Christmas, and then fucking do one review for the entire. But at least we'd have it. So that I could see being very realistic. And by that point, it's now 4 months without filming things. It's worse than COVID. Other thing.
With the strike on, animation's not affected in the same way.
Yes.
Paramount could be making new Star Trek or new Prodigy right now, like recording it, having the voice actors in, doing the thing.
Yeah.
Making content when everything else is stalled.
Well, Lower Decks is still going. I mean, they're not. Nothing's
exactly
slowed in there.
So this was a real stupid maneuver on their part.
We never think a strike's gonna happen until it happens, right? But there is other things on the horizon. That sounds like it's a pun if you know what I'm talking about, Stuart, but that doesn't appear.
Yes.
Look for stuff to talk about soon.
Yeah, there's stuff on the Foley. What? Sci-Fi Quest.
On you?
£2.
That's weird.
Yeah, on me.
What you put some white powder on you? You're just snorting some off you, are you? You got him on like Prodigy? Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Stuart.
Sci-Fi Quest, £2. Thank you so much. 3D printed, size doesn't seem to matter now.
Oh, yep, ships. Well,
yeah.
I built. It's so boring for me, and no offense of Trek, to just 3D print the ships. It just seems dull. Ship. Okay. It takes some of the magic out, right?
Yes and no. Anyway,
back to the trailer of the scene. It's not a trailer. It's a scene.
No, it's not a trailer.
So yes, they're going to the anomaly, and they're very clear about this. I think it's later on, but they say most of Starfleet is busy with the Romulan evacuation. So we've now hit into this. We've now hit into Picard linking, which in itself is J.J. fucking Abrams linking after they retconned it twice. So that's now happening, which means there's a giant Romulan thing going on. Picard's busy on the Verity, or at least getting close to that. Rescue fleet is at Mars being built, or at least one of the versions, whatever. All that confusing stuff when it comes to all the rescue stuff. But that's currently happening, and they say there's no captain. So Janeway's going to take the ship. So they need a bigger ship to go, because was it Zero says, "Are you going to take the Protostar class?" It's like, no, that was a little experimental little bad boy you stole. He didn't have any.
Protostar is still under construction. And as they approach the dry dock, it looks like it's a Utopia Planitia. It does look like Mars in the foreground there, because it is red. It's got the red tinge to it.
It'd have to be. Yeah, it'd have to be, because they were Earth. Yeah.
It could be the Luna docks, but that doesn't look like the moon, and they have just had a long conversation. I could see them going to Utopia Planitia.
Yeah. I think clearly, an Enterprise E dock, which is the classic dock, which, given the size the ship is going to have to be, that makes sense. This is a big ship. Like flagship class, like tier size. But it's a Voyager A. I mean, big old legacy. I mean, Intrepid at the time was a top tier, so it went smaller to be better, gone back to bigger to be better again. Then we start getting some beauty. So we get the top side, which just looks like a chromey sovereign.
Yeah, a lot of sovereign-esque things going on here, but that's okay.
And I'm confused because the window scale is entirely nonsensical.
Not saying those are definitely windows. It looks like they has no windows. Which is...
Well, yeah, if they're not, there are no windows. I mean, would you be against if those shutters are windows? There's like a row of 10 windows, and the white lines are just white lines like on ProStar? Because there are white lines that are not windows on ProStar, and there are white lines are windows on ProStar. So what if the white lines are not windows, and the windows are actually under shutters on like one deck? So the deck of windows.
I think that'd be really stupid. I just wish there was windows. Those white lines do not look anything like windows to me. They just look like accent details to make the ship look spiffy.
Spiffy. Well, it's as if a designer looked at a ship and said, "Oh, there are white details. Let's add them." But the rooms, like people have rooms where they live and they have windows they look out to survive and not go crazy. At this rate, there's only like 30 rooms with windows, and in fact, on the top of the frame, on the edge of the saucer, you can see the white details. They're extruding, so they're not windows. They're just like, you can see them. Do you see?
Yeah.
So there are no windows on the Voyager A.
The windowless ship, everybody.
Huh.
For safety purposes, I guess. Because some people kept complaining about bridge windows. They said, "Screw you guys! Okay, no windows at all. Everybody's quarters has a view screen."
God, they didn't design any windows. The goddamn ship. I wonder how far in the process they thought, "Oh no, we forgot to put windows in."
That's why I think some people are saying it's not a finished one.
But episode 1 though, this episode's been done for months. Like I think they're on it like in the teen episodes. Oh wow. That's amazing.
Anyway.
That makes me so happy as a funny thing. And of course, no phaser strips. No RC thrusters, it looks like. No blinkies, it looks like.
Yeah.
And very flat. But we do have some wavy lines.
I agree with people that could be a work in progress, and when we see the first episode, it's going to look finished with windows and everything. And we'll be like, "Oh, we need to talk about it again," which I wouldn't mind. But we've said that, and we've been so hopeful about that kind of thing before, and it just never comes to fruition. So,
Stuart,
just accepting this as what it is.
Do you remember that amazing sequence that is called Picard Season 1?
No, there's nothing good in Picard.
And I said to you, Stuart, that, well, yes, they might have rushed to get the Jen Hay sequence out, but they could easily fix it for the Blu-ray.
Yes, and I said they wouldn't do that. After it's been released, they're not going to fix it.
Just swap the model out, re-render it, fix it, because there's no way they'd let that go through, because it looks like trash.
Hold on. Copy, paste. Control V.
But they did. They couldn't be bothered to fix their mistakes. So it seems odd that they would then release a scene with a ship that should have been done months ago. Because this thing is going to be in the entire season. So why have they not finished the design before they've finished working?
It would have been one of the first things they were working on.
Yeah. Coming
up to the end of season 1.
Yeah, because if it's not done, they'd have to re-render all the space shots of all the first episodes.
You know what's going to happen is it's not ready to launch. Oh no, we got to take the unfinished Protostar instead. And Janeway and a small crew and the kids go on Protostar instead. So we're not going to see any more of Voyager than this.
Oh. Fun. Good, yes.
Oh.
Now this next shot is interesting actually with the side view. There's a lot of very colourful panels for sure. What is interesting about this shot though is that you get a sort of size chart. EMH, real human scale with Rocktalk, then with Dahl and the rest of the team. Put into perspective how absolutely tiny everyone is. Because you never get real people scale. Ever, pretty much. Just interesting. Not like
I mean, you saw them.
But you just don't really get
Janeway and stuff.
But you don't normally get to see it. Like, in a direct, wide, I mean. And you get an underside, the famous underside. We get way more details. And now we know those lights are not windows, so the ship has no under windows either, Stuart. None.
Oh, under windows never made a lot of sense anyway. In most ships. But hey. It does look like there's a really janky, shitty little captain's yacht there on the bottom. It looks like there's a nacelle pylon and a really rinky-dink little nacelle attached to it. It's kind of sad.
But it's definitely a quantum launcher, because now I've enhanced it, you can see the tube. You've got some odd bronze at the front. Some copper bronze. Lots of paneling, which is very reflective. I mean, this is chromium. It's reflecting itself loads. And all those cutouts in the hull, they're actually the escape pod cutouts, which the escape pod's the same colour as the hull, so they just blend in with the hull and makes the ship look almost no detail at all. I know it's a kids show animated show, but this is a very low detail ship. Is how this shot feels, like really low detail. They made more detailed ships in the 90s on Voyager.
Yeah. With a week to do it.
With a week to do it. And this is the hero ship, so I'm definitely surprised how low detail. Honestly, I was expecting a lot more from this ship to be like they pushed the bar, and they've sort of looked at the bar from down here.
Yeah, because this is a legacy ship in a lineage. You'd think they would put a lot more effort into it, but I do like the overall shapes. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yep.
It looks nice and sleek and fast.
Yep.
But we'll have to see how it goes.
But when there was a certain bar they've reached in the 90s and they're not reaching that same bar for details, it's an odd thing to do. I mean, so did Picard Season 3, right? A lot of their ships were also very low detail.
Yeah.
It's odd how Trek has gone backwards. Enterprise has more detail. What it's 20 years later, CG is at the same standard, much cheaper, or at a higher standard, the same price. But these are lower detailed ships for the, But the deflector's nice, the second hull's nice, very integrated. I mean, it was almost seamless. No warp core ejection, although I do see a phaser strip line where a phaser strip would be, but there's no lower blinky, there's no warp core ejection hatch. Again, it's missing all the fundamental details that you need for a ship to function. No docking ports on the side. Yeah, definitely no green and red blinkies inside the saucer. No front blinkies either. Wow, this ship is missing everything.
Yes, Dan, that is the torpedo launcher. It's exactly the same as the one on the Sovereign, the quantum launcher.
Yes. They grab it. God, yeah, it would have been great if the aero shuttle. Oh, that would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Raj.
It would have been. Hopefully they clean that model up, yeah.
Hopefully.
I wonder if they have metaphasic weapons now. Ooh, I doubt it.
Oh.
Next shot, though, you see the front of the nacelles. Very sovereign-y for sure. The backs are not. The backs are quite more blocky and,
rustic.
But, yeah. Yeah, it definitely feels like the model was just given a sovereign and said modify this into something a little bit different.
It's funny how there's more detail on the nacelle than any other part of the ship, it feels like. There's plate lines, there's grills, there's greeblies.
Well, it might have been taken off their sovereign that they used last season.
True. No, that is fair. And there's definitely impulse engine unit, which they're kind of facing sidewards, but it's not lit. And then they're deliberately hiding the bridge module bit.
Yeah,
It's like it's an iconic part, and it just kind of just the way that neck connects into the secondary, that whole behind between the cells, that bit is just it kind of just this curvy just goes into nowhere. It kind of has a dead end sort of feel. And that'd have been a great place to have like a briefing room. There's a little like brick detail at the back. Have a whole batch of like make it twice as long. Have a whole ring of windows with a room like a CG room inside. Like that would have been a nice like look our enhanced briefing room, or a tactical room.
One-way mirror type windows. Sure, that explains it.
I mean, and Adam Courtney says I think they outsourced the rendering, which is a shame. What do you mean outsourcing? I mean, there aren't really any in-house render studios to do animation like this. They all hire an Indian or Chinese studio. That no one does it except like Pixar, like the people that spend billions, like infrastructure. You can't do this in America, really. Not the fidelity. It's just not practical. And that's just the rendering. Like I don't mean that the previs is in-house, but the rendering, you're just not gonna, they can buy a lot more computers a lot cheaper than we can, etc.
I bet you can go warp 10 plus without making the training salamanders. There you go.
Well, the EMH on board, yes. Salamander warp confirmed.
And the next shot, you get to see some escape pod details. Looks like same shape as escape pods, but they're kind of inset. And it would be really weird launching those, but because that's the other thing that was missing when I first looked at it. I noticed there was like no escape pods necessarily. To be fair, we don't get a good shot of we don't get any shot really of the upper part of the saucer.
No.
So who knows what it still has in store for us.
Yeah, as I said in our review, they both showed a lot while still making it all feel like a tease. It's fascinating. But yes, this shot, you do get a great view of like I said, the captain's yacht. It feels like the exact same one from Insurrection, just like I said, taken off the E model that we had, moved around a little bit, but deflector's nice. The giant lack of windows is confusing. It makes the whole thing feel like a big slab of metal, especially a ship that big. I mean, it's weird, and we know how big the ship is. It's giant. It's very. I mean, this model must be unfinished because it's too basic to get away with. I can't see them having such a low bar, because the shuttle's lovely, right? The shuttle they're flying in, it's a great exterior model. This is way too basic to be a hero model. Even the dry dock's a better model. Although the dry dock, of course, once you build one claw, you clone it, right? Like, it's efficient for a reason. Must be a 10 model, because it's really not the standard that the show normally has. We've seen their Burrells, we've seen their Akiras, like, all good stuff. This is not that same standard.
Well, fingers crossed that it's better when we finally see the episode, but knowing their history, I don't think so.
Because the more I'm seeing it, the more I'm disbelieving this is the final version. I just brightened up this next shot, and again, it's just big, janky metal plates, which are too big for this scale of ship. Like, if this is a Nova size, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
That one plate in the middle is like 10 decks tall. What is it plating? Like, does that come off? And then I don't know what this means. What does it mean anything?
Yeah.
Probably doesn't mean anything.
Probably means nothing, yeah. Doesn't look like there's any articulation on those struts to whoever asked earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like retracting a little bit or something, and the cells come closer together.
Or maybe the nacelles themselves go like, oh.
Could be. The
nacelle would be less room for failure. Less points of failure.
Now we get the shot from the back as well, with the very chonky rear nacelle bits. Definitely a different feel than the Sovereign.
Which I commend. Something different.
Yes. Not sure I don't mind them.
I don't like the fact they're literally the hard edge and they feel very CG. They feel like 1996.
They look like the back of the TOS phaser.
Yeah, they do.
Complete with the fins.
Yeah, like it looks just low poly 1995 geometry. Like Equinox has nicer nacelles, and that was made a long time ago.
Yeah.
And you can see all the reflections of all different lights. So reflective and chromy. I mean, you imagine this in a purple nebula. The whole thing will radiate purple. It looked terrible. Like, cool, but terrible. Like,
Yeah.
who on earth would design a ship in the Star Trek world to be reflective? It's a terrible idea. Even the Protostar, which you think would be reflective, isn't. Like, it doesn't. It's just not that sort of reflective, right? It's a metal, but it's not chrome exactly. It's a different sort of metal.
Well, the thing you don't realize, Samuel, is that they recently acquired Naboo into the Federation.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
of course, their whole technology is much more advanced. Hence,
dude. Yeah, I remember reading those talks doing quite well for a while.
Yeah.
But, you know, their chief ambassador, what's his name? Jajak Banks. He's not the most direct when it comes to good ideas. He tends to...
Freddie's kind of an idiot,
yeah,
so...
Unless you go on his Unabongo, then he'll just do whatever. He's a real, you know... He loves his underwater rides. Yeah. I'm going to pop out for 1 minute, Stuart. Hopefully, though, we'll get some Super Chat 5s when I come back, see what people think, because, yeah, it's Prodigy. See you in a minute.
Hashtag save Star Trek Prodigy. Absolutely, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. We have 77 likes. I wouldn't mind getting 80, but I also wouldn't mind getting 100. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. Yes, please super chat in and go vote on the poll if you haven't already also. But super chat in, give us your questions, anything you want to talk about in regards to this 4-minute clip, or anything from Prodigy Season 2 that you might want to appreciate and need the support from super chat. So if you're able to, please consider doing so, and help us out in any way you can, even by joining the channel. There's the join button down there. You can join the fleet, have your name on every video moving forward, as long as you stay a member, obviously. But you can have a rank, you can have a ship assigned to you, you can be a captain of a ship and have your own ship in that fleet video. So lots of fun little perks that way. You can do that by clicking the join button down below or heading to Patreon/Trekyards. So also don't forget the links down below for Teespring and TeePublic. Got some cool Trekyard shirts, so check those out as well. Terrence says he would love to see a Galaxy class named the Intimidator. It's a good name. I like it. Not very Starfleet, but I mean, in STO I have a ship called the USS Executioner, so that's very much not Star Trek or Starfleet. Yes, the ambassador's name was Jar Jar Abrams. That's great. Voyager A must have had the same suppliers as Enterprise B. They still deliver on Tuesday, 100 years later. Perfect. Yeah, the Windows just haven't arrived yet. They're all going to be installed on Tuesday. That's the way you design a ship. I like it. Sci-Fi Quest says, I still feel the connection points to the pylons look like they articulate. That on this rear shot, looks like there's something going on back there. It's hard to tell. It doesn't have the same kind of articulations design as the Intrepid for sure, but yeah, it's a distinct possibility. But anyway, yeah, this is the Sovereign dry dock as seen at the end of Nemesis. You even got the large slide ride down into the ship, which in Nemesis attached to the shuttle bay, but neat little feature for sure. All right, 80 likes. That's awesome. We hit the 80 mark. Can we do better, though? Has anybody not hit the like button? Now's the time. Brendan D, honestly prefer this to the Neo-Constitution. Yes, I agree. The Neo-Constitution is good, but it's set in the wrong era. Like, it was originally designed to be the movie era, and it works beautifully for that. But to just update it and have it be in the Picard era, I also hate that it's called the Constitution 3 class. That's just incredibly stupid to me. Matthew DeFreitas throws in $5.
Hey,
Thank you so much. I will pay to say this per the poll. I don't care about Disco Season 5. That being said, I'm going to watch because I'll sit through anything with a Star Trek logo on it. Yes. You're one of those people that haters tend to like bash on. As long as it's got the Star Trek name on it, they'll watch it. So that's why they keep making this shit. I read a comment like that today, and I'm like, oh, man. Whatever. I don't like musicals. Shut the fuck up.
Oh.
Sorry, but that I've heard that in so many groups about the musical episode. It's like, whatever. This isn't a late night live. I can't curse and swear like I usually do. So, moving on.
Oh dear. Yes. Yeah. Then got this giant cutout in the back, which must be a secondary shuttle something. I do see a door, I feel like. Oh, is it just wasted space?
You'd think that. I think it's just wasted space. It doesn't look like a door to me at all.
Because no torpedo
It just
launchers.
looks like that. It looks like something just for the sake of design.
There's no weapons there. There's no off torpedoes on the ship. At least in the back.
There's no rear registry. No ship name.
No off phaser strips, no blinkies, no shuttle bay, red, green, blue, no gribblies there.
Well, the next shot when they zoom in a bit and the door's going down, people have been, when you were gone, were talking about how the way the secondary hull attaches to the struts, it looks like there might be some articulation with that. Looks like there's something going on there. And I kind of agree. I think that might be the case. But again, it has to have a good reason, right?
I mean, one of the few details that actually exist on the ship. Because they are pretty chunky, the two connection points. They're pretty big slabs of metal. I mean, that's obviously, you know, one of the Voyager's most famous things. But then, of course, you know, the ambassador didn't separate. The D did, the E didn't. Features don't carry over necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I care? I don't know.
Well, it's a different class too. It's not like this is the Lamar class. So this is a class that was already in existence that they just made Voyager A.
Yep. Not first of the class. That is a new one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends. Can this thing proto drive? I doubt it, but I can imagine if the nacelles go flush.
Well, I think that has something to do with the technology that they acquired that they mentioned, and then some. It's going to have something special as far as propulsion goes. It won't be proto-star drive.
No,
but
probably not. So I wouldn't be against it because the Dauntless's nacelles are flat with the hull. I wouldn't be opposed if the thing goes sort of flat-ish and it can slipstream. Yeah, you know, it's not too much of a leap. And you get a shot of the shuttle bay open, which gets us as close as we get to this ship.
And Kieran Spores, it's not a small red line, it's just a reflection of light. There's no small red line on the back of the saucer, no.
Oh, no, it's just a slight, yeah. Yeah, it's gone to the next one. And you see the very odd, there's only the tiny slits of blue grills on the edge of the nacelles.
That's what I mean. It doesn't have the standard blue chiller grills that are so large on the Sovereign and stuff. So it could be that there's a new propulsion system.
And yet there are some past the pylons. They've got warp coils inside the saucer. But Enterprise nacelles are designed to have warp things inside the... It's like I say, if they kit bash a shape and don't realise that the coils are where they are, you can't just replace the coils and fill them with nothing and then put them on the side. Like, then change the design of the nacelle.
Olin Drab says, oh, maybe some of the blank panels are that disappearing armor. I mean, it's got some chunky parts to it. Like, look at the left side of the saucer there. There's those two wedges that are on the bottom.
I mean...
They're odd, and there's one of those again at the back of the saucer that we saw in that one of the previous shots.
I mean, that would be a bold thing to do, to have a blade of armor being on the ship and on, because that would explain the chrome. That would explain no windows.
Mm-hmm.
Would it? And weapons are behind the chrome. I mean, I guess that would explain it. It's actually, I hadn't thought that because it's meant to be temporal tech.
Like I said, right down here.
Mm-hmm.
Those wedges,
Just
they're
boxes.
just odd. There's no detail on them. There's no slid like. That'd be a great place for slotted windows and have like a bar or a briefing room or something, right?
Well, that is so interesting. Have it be a blade of armor turned on.
You can see them on the other side of the saucer as well, just not as clearly in this shot. But
I guess that'd be a nice twist because then you technically seen the ship, but you haven't really seen the ship.
yeah, actually, that would make a lot of sense.
Because why else would it be bloody chrome?
And the ablative armor's on right now. That's why the nacelles have such small.
Yeah.
And as it launches, and you get the reveal of the actual ship with windows.
Yeah, with windows, with registry, with pen.
Oh.
Because there's no pennants. I mean, like I said, there's no detail on this goddamn ship. That's gotta be it.
Oh, I like that.
It's gotta be.
Like
yeah,
that.
that's because these are a good team. They can't make such a poorly thought out ship.
I feel like we need to
Talk to
do
people.
a new video.
Yeah,
a new video talking about that.
Yeah. And I would be absolutely fine with it being a hybrid armor, meaning it's like not particularly effective. That's why the ship isn't ridiculously thick. It's a thinner armor because look, Starfleet invented hollow armor. Look, we totally just invented it, and it's a third as effective, but it's still effective, right?
Oh, see, I can see them doing that. I can see them launching the ship, and as it's pulling out of dry dock, just the armor comes back, and you get the like beautiful registry, windows.
Yep. It's got to be that. It's got to be that. Let me Google the blade of harm because it is a just big chunky, and it would open up a lot of because you also answer why would Jamer pick this ship because it's got reverse engineered armor tech.
Maybe Voyager's the only one that has it, even though like other Lamar classes might not, because it does say it's a science vessel, which would be an odd. Like you'd put this on like a warship,
Yeah, but
okay.
I mean the Enterprise E is a science ship with many guns.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm trying to find armored Voyager. I got armored shuttle, which isn't quite the same.
Which raises the question: does the Michael Keaton Batmobile also have a blade of armor? I think it does.
I think it does. I think if you disagree with that, I think you're wrong. I think it has a blade of armor. Yep. Okay, hold on. Let me just do something fancy, because I want to.
Okay. I'm going to end the poll though. Actually. Are you more excited to see Prodigy Season 2 or Discovery Season 5? Well, the winner, of course, is Prodigy Season 2 with 81%. 19% of people out of 152 votes. Oh, sorry, 18%, because somebody else just voted. 152 votes. 18% of people are more excited for Discovery Season 3, or Season 5, sorry. So, there you go. We're ending the poll. We also have 84 likes and 62 people watching. So if you're one of the people that snuck in late and you haven't hit that like button, please do so. Another 16 likes to get to 100 would be amazing. Super chats would be welcome. Like I said, any comments, questions, anything you want us to talk about from this clip or just about Prodigy in general, now is the time. Even if you have a question for, I was going to say a question for Aaron that we could pass on, but he can't answer many things as far as Season 2 goes, so
Aaron, let's spoil Season 2. Okay, Trekyards, hey. And then we release the video, it's all redacted.
He'll give us a redacted answer, and then we have to redact it more.
Yeah.
Just be a video. Just be like a 5-minute video of us just sitting here.
Oh my god!
2, eh?
Really? You're joking. Actually, that'd be kind of funny though. Like, do a fake video where I blur his face. It's clearly him, and
yes.
Whoa, there's actually yeah.
Let's make him sound like one of the what are they called in Star Wars? The Tech Army. One of those guys. Make him sound like a Breen.
Well, Stuart, never turn you back on a Breen. Okay, so just for funsies, because I feel like that feels like such a good revelation. Here's Armored Voyager in 3D. You know, nothing special or anything. So we can compare the look and vibe of the actual Armored Voyager with this ship, vibe-wise.
So vibing. Oh my god, the shot of the saucer from the side.
Well, the first shot.
Not the first shot, the second shot. I think we see. Hold on, let me go.
Oh, the third one.
Yeah, something like that. Definitely has the same kind of vibe to it for sure.
Because I mean, Armored Voyager is a chrome surface with random line plates. It has not got visible weapons. They're sort of there, but they're armored over, which is great.
We explain why the impulse engines look the way they do.
Yeah, it was just slits. Yeah.
Why they're such blocky elements.
Yeah.
And no windows.
The warp grills. God, isn't that cool? The warp grills are the same but different. They're like a shell to them. That's really cool. Oh, I love the Bassards. Look how
the
cool.
hull plating looks very similar.
Gosh, these that's brilliant. The nacelles. From the front, there's armor protecting the grills. The grills are now armored grills, but they're turned, so at the front they're protected. As soon as you go to the side, you can see them. They're open. Oh, that's a fun idea. Never knew that. Cool. A giant silver pennant that's silver. The flex is quite reminiscent. There's literally shoved armor on it. I love that.
Yeah, you know what? I think we've figured something out.
No, we didn't. They did.
Well, we expanded on it. That's why we love you guys. Thank you. Yeah, because the deflector looks quite chonky as well on this thing.
Yep.
It'd be extruded out a bit and then armored around, and then it's like recesses back in when it.
Yep. Because maybe they're just testing the armor in this moment. That's gotta be it, Stuart. That's gotta be it.
I like it.
Because look, this is a very, very low detail Voyager with random plates. What was the other thing? A low detail ship. More plates, sure, but you know. Huh.
And this is advancement on the tech, or Starfleet's take on that.
Yeah, it's de-advancement. Right? It's reverse engineerment.
Yes.
Which makes sense. Like, you can't let this tech get into the hands of anyone. But if just testing it would be fun to...
No, that's... Yeah, I'm convinced now that that's the case.
And what a cool idea for the last episode of Voyager, making armor, like a suit of armor. Just a great idea that was by itself.
Could explain why the captain jet looks so stupid too. With the pylon and stuff the way it is, it's just like covered up to the actual detail.
Wow. There's like almost no... And okay, so let me take this model. Let me just ramp up the reflection. Okay, that did nothing. Oh. Where is the...
Dan Bevan says, "Damn, Trekyards, if it turns out not to be this, I'm not going to be disappointed."
Yeah.
Because it's such a great idea for a trailer. Well, it's not a trailer, it's a clip. There's a difference. This is not a trailer.
I did absolutely nothing to make the ship even more reflective. Huh. Why would it not do anything? I don't even know. How do I make this thing more reflective? That is not how you do it. Still did nothing interesting.
It does look like it was built for tactical operations, but he makes point of saying it's science vessels, so...
Yeah, but this is armor, right?
Yeah.
It's not tactical. Why is that? That's so weird. It's like game reflections.
Could explain why the escape pods are the way they are too. They can't really launch in that configuration.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Totally what it is, Stuart. We're not going to stick a reputation on it, but I think we just proved it by, being a bit fancy there.
We have no reputation. It's fine.
And that is such a boss reveal, though. To come out of dry dock and Jim was like, "Turn off the armor." Armor? What armor? You didn't think we were this chrome, did you?
Just a little blinking red light, armor activated. Don't you see that? push the button and.
But then as it launches, you cut on the bit with the registry. That bit shifts off. Registry revealed. Because that's such an iconic part of the last episode of Voyager, symbolically launching Voyager with how it left the show into new. Perfect. It's a bold idea, but I mean, hey, they're bold. There you go.
Yeah, we need to do a video on this.
Yep. Stake all of our reputation on it.
Well, just a theory video. But that's just a theory.
A game.
Oh my goodness. All right, 9 more likes, get to 100, guys. Oof, we're almost there. Can we do it? Because honestly, there's only like one more shot of the ship that we need to look at, and that's the interior hallway.
Ah, yes. Yes.
For this clip, so very drab, very not. Again, it's like kind of like the outside of the ship. It's just blocky, chunky details.
No, it's true. It's fine. The corridor has got hull armor on. The hull. The carpet revealed.
Yeah.
That works, right? I'm not.
Yep. You got to make sure that you jump at the right time, though, when they activate that armor. Otherwise, your feet get cut off.
Oh, Devon, the Voyager final was terrible, unfortunately. I thought it was one of the best they ever made. In terms of, like, movie feels. That was a movie right there.
Yeah.
Like, it was epic. And big and scale, and you never once, doubted the 2 Janeways, but the 2 Janeway scenes, the whole thing, you never thought anything of it.
Yeah.
And then there's scenes with Trekyards 7 for some reason. But apart from those.
Murph will turn off the armor by sitting on the button. There you go.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, it's a corridor.
It is.
That I can confidently say.
With not highly reflective floors either. I like the reflectivity of those floors, and the middle part could be like some kind of. Doesn't look like carpet, but it could be anti-slip grip stuff.
Well, it gives it a textured feel.
Yeah.
While still making the metal bit look dirty and disgusting. Like it needs a clean. Because I've done plenty of sets and things like railings is also that sounds like I tend to, in Trek the metal isn't very metally normally, like in Voyager TNG, but if it's meant to be silver metal, so you attach and in the softwares you attach a steel weathered steel texture, and it makes this very, I've recognised the pattern almost like this very black and white texture. And then it's like, that's too bright. It looks horrible in the set. Then you lower the reflectiveness, because Trek doesn't do reflective metals, really. And it's like, okay, now you just get a hint of it. Here they've just got the raw metal feel. So that you literally see the reflected in the floor, which does look a little bit silly. Like a pond.
Yeah. Would have been nice to see the bridge or something in the trailer. Or the clip, sorry, not a trailer. The clip. But I think we got a lot of information packed in it. Mm-hmm. And it was a good choice. So... Mm-hmm.
And, just for clarity here, now you can see, guys, that the uniforms are red.
Yeah.
Not sun-worn, or they are sun-worn and they're still red. Weird. Yeah, not a lot to go on. Not very dynamic corridors. But it makes you wonder if they didn't spend that much money on the Voyager interiors because there's so many practical, bigger sets they're building, right? You would think, obviously, they'd spend lots of money on their hero ship, but maybe they just didn't have the money to spend.
Plus, we don't know how long it's going to be the hero ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. That's our look at Season 2 of Prodigy, the footage from STLV, which was awesome to get. Nice surprise. And new ship, return of a legacy character. That is all amazing. But, yeah. And as for the uniforms, we have a video coming out about those. Mm-hmm. I think right after this scene, they're going to go to their quarters and change, and then next scene will be like them showing up on the bridge or something, wearing a different uniform again, still, but not the standard ones that everybody else is using. So that's my
Mm.
call.
Yes. Yeah, let us know your last thoughts, comments, and questions, and the fact that the excitement value for a cancelled TV show, Beast Discovery, is a, I don't know if that's an indictment on one or a positive on the other,
Yeah.
or both. But continue to support us with what we do for Prodigy, because of course we're the only ones doing this level of coverage. When the show's coming out, all the same, full coverage, better for worse. This is what we do. It's nice. That's what we want to do. Support if you can. Are you ready mentally, Stuart, for the season finale of Strange New World, Season 2?
Yeah. I am. That's tomorrow. Holy shit. As we mentioned too, our review on our live breakdown on Friday is going to be probably an hour earlier. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, a serious episode. I'm calling it right now. I think Captain Patel is going to die.
Yeah, I hope not.
I kind of hope she does, honestly.
Oh.
I don't dislike her, but I want Pike to suffer.
I was about to say that. Oh, you stole my joke.
I'm just kidding. I like Pike, but I think it has to happen for sure at some point, because she's not there in the menagerie. She would be taking care of him in the chair.
I mean, they can just break up, you know. She doesn't have to
I
probably
know.
murdered by Breen. Not Breen,
Or she
Gorn.
could be on the far edges of the quadrant doing her job as well. I mean, hey.
Which is a vice admiral. But guys, we have
Then he
five...
leaves her to go see Vina. So
I was about to say $5 for minimum. Can we get $7 more to round us out to another goal? That jumped us a lot.
Yeah. Well, Ronan Faye.
Ronan.
10 euros.
So much.
I always like the armor with the Batmobile vibe, but it's a bit problematic from a tech point of view. You'd expect to see it on all future ships unless it was classified, but then why on this one? Well, this is their own take on it, would be my guess. Like reverse engineered, as we said. Yeah. They shouldn't have had it on Voyager anyway, but they needed it, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, they gave them shields that could take like 5 Borg cubes full assault. Cool. And torpedoes that can kill a Borg cube in 2 shots. Cool. And given that a Borg cube killed 30, 40, 50, 100 ships twice, despite you literally building a second entire generation of starships to fight said first ship and still fail miserably. That was the whole point, right? It's that we're emptying a bag, we're leaving, we're gonna... Future story makers can decide how they deal with all of this. They're not. Okay, cool. But obviously, Temporal Prime Directive, as soon as they get in, as soon as logs come in, Temporal Investigation says, They put into hangar bay, they rip the shit off, they study it. Voyager is impounded for a good year, studied, classified. Obviously the crew
Cleaned up and thrown in the museum.
Clean up, yeah, and removed all the greeneries, all the hull, just fucking ripped off. And just like the mobile emitter, they can't replicate it exactly, or they would have. They never made a second in the canon. Doesn't mean they can make a shitty version based on the ideas of it. As I've said before, even if you handed my Galaxy S20 Ultra to the iPhone 1 creators, they do not know how to invent, how to build, how to manufacture the tiny parts inside this at the level. Doesn't matter if they're looking at it, they cannot just recreate it because the system...
They would know which direction to head in, but they couldn't do it instantly. Yeah.
The fact it's possible was always a possibility, but to see it is different. But it's like, how did you crack the microfibers down to 0.1 millimeter? Ours are at 2 centimeters. Because they're not given an instruction guide. Just having it does not help. Some bits you can glean. So it's great, the idea that the tech is so advanced that they can't use it fully. But I love the idea that they understand, okay, armor that's made holographically, which is weird by itself, but future tech, and it can absorb, energy absorbs energy damage. Great. And it's somewhat effective. And at the end of the day, 20% additional shield buff is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That is worth having if if you can generate it, whatever. So, yeah. And the Titan's a low-end ship in Picard's light cruiser. Never got armor tech. It's fine.
I could see them too. The kids walking into their quarters and seeing a window and be like, "It's not much of a view. It's just like gray."
Yeah.
And then it's like, "Well, just wait." And then
yeah, because you could play with that so significantly, and you could create really fun moments where they're against some sort of enemy ship, and they just turn on armor and they develop all power to the armor, and then suddenly they're in this enclosed metal tin can, and it's even more claustrophobic because now all windows are covered, and all you're hearing is dum, 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 dum,
yeah.
Like it's worse almost because with shields you're getting you're not hearing the shield impact inside the hull so much, but if there aren't shields, if it's armor, you would hear the kinetic impact. That could be really genuinely frightening. There's a lot of story you could do with that if you ungodify it a bit. Yeah. That's my take.
Squadra Course throws in $2 and says, "How are the new short treks coming along?" Snipe.
Good snipe. Well, yes, we had our first big shoot Monday with all of this pre-cough. That was hard, but lots of caffeine got me through it. We've got our next shoot this weekend, which is a very expensive shoot. Next flying in, other actors are here. It's a very and because it's summer, there's events happening. All the hotels are like 3 times the cost, as is travel, so everything is just heightened. So it's a very expensive shoot. And we're gonna try and cram it all in. I think we're all mentally like, well, we'll do a long day on Saturday if we have to, because a lot of pages. Yeah, it's a lot, and that's just
they're coming along. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, but we've got some small modeler problems that may slow us down. Don't know, we'll see. I've got enough to do anyway. Either way, so.
Yeah, and 4 more likes get to 100, guys.
And $7 more. 7. So, that's it. 7.
$7 more.
That's it. It's a low number.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited for season 2 of Prodigy. I hope it's released piecemeal, though, episode by episode, as opposed to just being a dump, because it'll be easier for us to review. If it does just dump it, though, we're going to binge watch it, do a review of the entirety of it, probably, and then go in and do it episode by episode, would be my guess. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Because that's the thing. If we said, right, Stuart, we'll stay off the internet for 2 days.
No, we can't.
Fine, we'll stay off for a day. You can almost watch 3, do a review, watch another 3, do a review, and do some be weird, but be kind of fun.
No, then people in the live would be like, "Well, this happens in this episode." And
no, but I mean, we've done some batch reviews.
Oh yeah, I guess.
So people could watch it as a chunk.
Yeah.
And then we watch, so at least we get some level of suspense. We watch the first 3, it's an hour, review for 20 minutes, watch next hour, be a whole day back and forth, but at least we'd have a batch of reviews, which would be kind of fun. And we'd at least get to experience and talk about it. Although I'd probably have to ask Aaron, when are the good cliffhangers? Because if imagine you watch 3 and 3, but the cliffhanger at 5 and 7, so it's it doesn't make sense for the structure of the show. Could be kind of funny. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We don't have any word on who's picking it up or how it's being released. So
yeah,
once we know, you'll know.
Stanley's. Are we going to cover the new Babylon 5 movie, which comes out in 10 days, 5 days?
Maybe. We got a whole month of August with no new treks, so.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the 4K, which is awesome. It's in 4K. I look forward to watching it. Yeah. It's a very meta it's first new content in 12 years, so it's we did something new. Let's make it for the fans.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing to do. So it has that vibe from it. Should be interesting.
99 likes. I got 99 likes, but I was going to say $7 ain't one of them, because it isn't now. Squadra Course, $7. Here you go. Live long and prosper. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Excellent. So yes, tomorrow you'll be jumping in for your first reaction to the season finale.
Yes.
We'll know if it's super long. Oh, are we reviewing Ahsoka? Oh, that's an interesting question.
I will be. I'll be doing the same thing I did with Mandalorian, doing first reactions on the night it comes out.
When does that come out?
Soon, next week, I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that, but it is soon. So
23rd of August.
23rd. Oh,
So
right before Lower Decks. So I'll be doing double duty on the
okay.
week. Wednesday will be my first reaction to Ahsoka, and then Thursdays will be my first reaction to Lower Decks.
Kind of hoping there'd be between. I thought more of a break, but there isn't, is there? Well, I thought Lower Decks is September. Or is it
September 7th or September 5th. September 7th.
Yeah, so there's two episodes. No, there's two. It's in two as a movie, and then
Yeah.
it's gonna be like 5 episodes, isn't it? It's gonna be like some stupidly low number. 8. Great. So yeah, the fourth episode comes out September 6th. So in theory, we could do the first 4 before Lower Decks.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I bet you they put a lot of money in it. Which at the end of the day, for a Star Wars production, you need money for the effects, for the costumes, for the lightsabers. You know, you need that sort of funding. You can't just have people in costumes walk around and it feel quite the same bold way. Use it smartly, obviously. But
So yeah, there's your answers, guys. And there's more content from us coming. Don't worry. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe and all that jazz.
all that jazz.
So until next time, he is Commander Cockings.
Until tomorrow, he is Captain Foley.
That's right. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, everybody. Peace out.
Bye, guys.